So this is going to be test number 5 of the Pistelle X-68. This test, I will be doing just the two external 12-gram CO2s in the Umrex 2 times 12-gram cylinder here. I switched out the other Umrex cylinder for a quick puncture right here. And she's holding gas just fine. Holding about 700 psi right now. About 700 psi for this test. Again, don't know the accuracy, but I've been using it from the beginning, so it's a good, baseline for me. No leaks. Everything seems to be good. There is a cartridge, unpunctured 12-gram cartridge in the handle that I'm going to leave there. That'll be for reserve. Just for today's test, I'm just going to test the two in the external cylinder and see if it yields better results. The other thing too was that the testing I did last night, the 4th test, and as far as I can remember, even the prior testing, I was using Crossman 12-gram CO2s. Today I opted to go with the Umrex branded CO2, just in case there was something funky going on with those Crossmans. I want to say I heard something about them. I don't know if they're slightly different and you got to put some kind of a washer in there, adapter or something. Maybe that lended to the poor piercing that I got. But the two in the other cylinder, Umrex cylinder last night during the test 4, only one of the two actually pierced, and even the one that pierced, it was like a pinhole. I mean, it was so small I could barely see it. I ended up off camera. I ended up looking at those CO2s when I dropped them out of the gun, and again, one wasn't pierced at all. It just had like a little, like maybe a little dimple, like something started to push on it, but it didn't break through. Matter of fact, I ended up reinstalling it in the handle off camera and was able to shoot. I don't know, I shot another magazine, anyways, another 6 rounds. None of the numbers were very impressive. I think they were around 312 feet per second. So kind of hoping maybe it was just the CO2, but also I decided to change this and go with the quick pierce. And as far as I know anyways, it pierced out. This all pierced properly, so we'll see how it goes. Again, we'll be testing with the 9.9 gram riot balls. Okay, so I got 2 loaded up magazines, 6 each. I got another 6 over here that I'll hopefully be able to get off a third magazine on the testing, maybe more. Again, testing with 2 12-gram CO2s, Umrex brand. And wish me luck. Hopefully we'll have some better luck here. All right, we're already aired up. 700 psi, just actually maybe a little tiny bit over 700. It's been sitting for probably 20 minutes since I aired it up. Gassed it up, I should say. So let's put those in here. We are live, fingers out of the trigger well, but we are live. And let's see what we get. All right. Wait, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? How do I want to do this, I should say? Lasers on. Audio's still going, so that's good. Okay. Let's bring her down. Let's keep her in tight here. All right. Again, this is continued testing that I've been doing since removing the gog, the gog on and off out of the back here of the Pistelle. We're running straight the car stock straight through to the back of the Pistelle, and it's running up from a stainless steel hose line from the Umarex quick pierce. All right, I guess that's enough chit chat from me. Let's see what we get. And the target trap, hopefully they'll stay in there this time. All right, so we got 420. First shot's 420. 380 for second shot. $352 for the third shot, I think it was. $326 for the fourth shot. $294 fifth. $256. Should be 6. And pressure drop. Yeah, it's sitting at about 400 psi. All right. Okay. I don't know. I'm not feeling very confident with this setup right now that I'm going to be getting even 2 mags. Again, this is just too pressurized. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and puncture. Now, this one in here was not a Umarex. It was a, it's still a Crossman 12 gram in here. So let me get my finger away from the trigger and let's just gas this up and see if I can gain some more pressure. Okay, that sounded like a good puncture. We're back up to a 700. Yeah, back up to 700. All right, I should not have a problem doing a second magazine. Really hoping I get 3 out of here. 3 is the goal. If I can get 3 magazines, 18 rounds at bone-crushing velocities, or joules, then I'll be psyched. Well, we'll see how we go. I don't know if it'll be bone. Well, it could be bone-crushing. That first one is 420, 420. That's it's got to be 75 joules or so. All right, here we go. This is the second magazine, shot 1. 396. Shot 2. 386. Shot 3. 374. Shot 4. 368. Shot 5. 360. Ooh, that was a double tap. That was shot 6. 354. All right. I need to load up another magazine, see what we're going to get here. I'm still at about 600 psi. So chances are I'll be able to pull off another mag. So let's get that loaded up. And with any luck, I'll be happy. I'll be very happy, actually, if I can get a third magazine of these 9.9 Riot Gram. Excuse me, Riot Gram. Why the hell did I say that? Riot Balls. 9.9 gram Riot Balls. If I can get another full mag, and they're all like feet per second on north of like 285, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with this. And you know, again, that's with, I had to puncture the handle for a reserve. I used the reserve. The reserve was not another Humorex. I should have had a Humorex in there. Don't know what my thought process was on that. But it was a Crossman in the handle, but it brought the pressure right back up to 700. So more I talk right now, I imagine things are going to stabilize as well. So, but anyways, I don't want to make this video much longer than it needs to be while I'm yipping and yapping here in my New England accent. So, all right, we're hot. Let's see if we can get through a third 6-round magazine with some decent numbers, mind you. Let's see. 372, I'll take it. That's shot 1. 354, another keeper. Shot 2. 340 for shot number 3. 318, shot number 4. 294, shot number 5. And let's see, do we have a 6th shot? Yes, wasn't very powerful, 258 feet per second, but it would still hurt. So, all right, I think that was, let me just double check. I should have been 6. Yeah. Now we just get some gas. All right, so 2 more shots. Probably would have got a little bit more. We're down to about 250 psi, 200, 250. Again, that's reading up here too. So, you know, where it's placed, I don't know how accurate that gauge is. If it's going to be accurate, no matter if it's an accurate depiction of what's going on in here, or just over here. I don't know. All right. All right. While I'm talking, I already feel the trigger starting to stiffen up again here. All right, so let's degas here. All right, let's degas, and I definitely want to check all 3 of these and see what they look like as far as puncture this time. And I will do that on the camera. So let me shut this off. Let me close these things here. And let's go ahead and let me drop the first CO2 in the handle, which is the Crossman. Still quite a bit of air in there, so Sean's point, maybe I should look into filling out that expansion chamber a little bit more. I mean, I suspect I'm 40-50% reduction in expansion in that chamber right now with what I'm using for media, film media, but I could probably come up with something better. If I can reduce that more, maybe I'll be able to take, maybe I'll see higher pressures as well. So, all right. So what we have here right now is we have here is a failure to communicate. All right. So this was the Crossman 12 gram CO2 that was in the handle that I was using as a reserve that I punctured afterwards. All right, so we have a puncture hole in there. Looks a lot better than the one that punctured last night in the external cylinder. So I'd say that's a decent puncture. In the handle, what it was doing last night in the other Humorex is a different story, right? Different story. All right, let me just make sure. Well, I'll know if I can't loosen this up easy. Like you can see it. Actually, that's another nice thing with this design too. This quick puncture is when the gas is depleted, it drops. It's not popped out. So, oh yeah, that's good. That's coming right out of there. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, what do we got here? Swipe out of this thing. Okay, good. I was hoping we were still recording all that time. Something popped up on the phone, some message. So, all right. So we're definitely all out of gas. Let's see what we have in here. And these were the Umerics, if I'm even saying that right. Oh yeah, better punctures, better, even better than that Crossman in the handle. So here you can see, pretty oily. I went a little crazy with the lube. Umerics. Shit. Yeah, slippery when wet, slippery when oil. All right, so both Umerics that were in the 2 times gram, 2 times CO2 Umerics external, and much better punctures out of this one. So again, not sure if it was just the Crossman cartridges last night or if it was a combination between that twist to puncture that the silver colored gray covered Umerics 2 times 12-gram cylinder was doing. With this one, you gotta hit it hard, push, quick puncture, and by the looks of it, much better. Very happy. All right, so at least I know all the gas is getting out of it. Did I weigh it? Did I compare an empty or not to see how many grams, are actually in it? No, I haven't done that yet. I'll hang on to these and maybe I'll compare them and see what that changes. But at this point, I'm gonna wipe my fingers. Get the oil off my fingers. All right, I feel like these results are probably going to be much better. I'll have to run the numbers and then I'll do an update at the end of this video. But video's already been going on probably too long, so I will see you guys in the office. Thank you. Okay, we're back up in the office after test number 5 using the quick puncture Umerics 2 times 12-gram external cylinder. The first magazine was only using the 2 times 12-gram Umerics. I did not puncture my reserve 12-gram cartridge that was in the handle. However, you'll see at some point I did actually use that reserve. So the first thing we have here, let me expand that out a little bit. Okay, so our hot shot to begin with was 420 feet per second at a solid 81.12 joules or 81 joules. Second shot at 380 feet per second was 66.4 joules. And then we went to 352, 326, 294, 256 feet per second, ending in that first mag down to about 30 joules. At that time, I noticed that the pressure had dipped down considerably, so I activated the 12-gram CO2 that I had in the handle as a reserve, which bumped me back up to 700 psi on the gauge. And then I loaded another magazine, in which case we started off with that second magazine at 396 feet per second, 72.11 joules. 386, started getting really consistent, solid numbers here with all 3 activated. So 386 feet per second, 68.5 joules. Then we got 374 feet per second, 64 joules. 368, 62 joules. 360, 59 joules. 354, 57, and you can see the numbers here as we go down. Brighten these up a little bit. Ending on the 18th shot, I got 258 feet per second, 30.61 joules. Running all 3, maybe I should have repeated my test like I had done previously and ran all 3. Of course, I think I also should have not had a Crossman. I should have probably used all 3 cartridges and have them be Umarex as well to kind of rule out that Crossman. But the Crossman seemed to puncture fine. And yeah, I got some solid numbers there. I made my 3 magazines, which was my goal. And I knew I could do it because I've done it before with a different setup on the Pistelle. I was able to get, of course, I didn't have such high velocity on all those shots. So this is looking better. We're heading in the right direction now. Again, second mag, I had punctured the reserve and the handle, which was a Crossman. Now, I think I showed them at the end of the test, but just to go over this again here, the Crossman, it punctured. I mean, that's a decent puncture. It didn't tear open a hole in space-time continuum or some baloney, but it was much, much better puncture than what I saw last night in the external, the remote Umarex setup there. These two are Umarex. Nice tear. So these were in the 2 times 12 gram CO2 Umarex quick puncture setup. So that one tore it a new one. And same deal here. Nice. Very nice. So I switched over to this one, the quick puncture. My hesitation initially was that I was worried about the extra strain beating on the setup on how I got that Umarex external remote setup, anchored. I got it on some scope, aluminum scope rings. But I decided to change it out. This way I knew I had a better puncture system than just cranking down and hoping for the best and hoping I got it tight enough. I wanted to rule that out. So I think I'm just going to run this one because it, as you can see, it punctured, it punctured really well. So I'm happy with that. Anyways, learning process for me here. Hopefully this is somewhat interesting testing anyways. And thank you, Sean, for your feedback. Thank you, Jeff. I mean, both gave me some valuable feedback, and I'm going to continue to play around with it. Of course, it's always a work in progress, right? And I thank you and wish you a great day. Peace out.